My research project focuses on the attitudes towards the refugee situation in Italy. My research question fact is, what is the discourse around the hashtag #profughi on Twitter? In order to answer this question, I performed a content analysis using Netlytic. I followed the medium by analyzing the hashtag #profughi on Twitter, which I think is the best platform to discuss social political issues. I've set up my research by collecting 2,500 tweets with the hashtag #profughi during the course of a week, from the 10th to the 18th of March. I filtered these tweets by language as I wanted to note discourse in my country, and by number of retweets, keeping those retweeted at least 2 times for a total of 202 tweets. This has allowed me to have a small sample suitable for manual analysis, but also big enough to really get an idea of what the discourse around refugees is. For the topic analysis, I divided tweets in 5 categories according to the topic of discussion, and the biggest category that contains the 36% of the sample, we have news about the war and the current situation of Ukrainian refugees. These tweets are mostly numbers and statistics from media outlets describing the migration flow of these days. The second biggest category, with 33% of the total tweets, is about the measures taken to deal with the arrival of refugees in Italy and how the country is trying to help these people by providing them a place to stay. Many of these tweets talk about the engagement and the efforts of the church and of non-profit organizations in a positive way. Another important category with the 15% of tweets is the one that calls out the biased and racist treatment of non-Ukrainian refugees, especially Syrians, Kurds, Afghans, and Iraqis. Finally, we have tweets about former Minister of the Interior, Matteo Salvini, and those referring to the COVID-19 pandemic. These last 2 categories of tweets are mostly angry or ironic remarks, addressing the hypocrisy of the politician in the first case and the COVID measures for refugees in the second one. To better visualize this data, I decided to create a word cloud using wordclouds.com. And as we can see, the most impacting words, aside from #profughi, are the names of the countries that are welcoming the refugees. We have Romania, Poland, Italy, and also Moldavia. The hashtags clearly visible in the word cloud are those referring to the war. Russia is one of the most frequent words alongside Putin, Russia, and Ukraine. But we can also notice hashtags advocating for the end of the war, such as peace, no war, human rights, and children. Lastly, other common words in word clouds are dates. We have the 11th, 12th, and 16th of March, as the majority of tweets were describing what's happening day by day. For my discourse analysis, I selected the 3 most retweeted tweets. The first tweet is by Mauro Piani, a cartoonist for the Italian newspaper Repubblica. In his drawing, a man in a suit, probably a politician, asks refugees of different ethnicities whether they're real or fake refugees, referring to the discourse according to which people coming to Italy from Africa or Southwest Asia aren't as worthy of help as European refugees. Whitley, a kid on his father's shoulder, asked the man, "What about you?" underlining the hypocrisy and double-sidedness of the politician. The 2 other tweets are both by Nicola Fretoianni, the secretary of Sinistra Italiana. Fretoianni is commenting on Matteo Salvini's tweet about the Lampedusa migration crisis, calling him racist and unworthy of its role of politician, as there shouldn't exist a distinction between A-class and B-class refugees. To conclude my content analysis and to answer my research question, I can affirm that the discourse around the hashtag #profughi in Italy consists mainly of narration of what has been happening in Ukraine and consequently in Europe for the past 3 weeks. But even if the topic analysis showed that the majority of tweets were a neutral description of the situation of Ukrainian refugees, the most repeated and discussed tweets are a call-out of the hypocrisy surrounding the treatment of non-Ukrainian refugees seeking help and asylum.